are just dying for the chemistry between you two. The kiss at the London premiere, recreating the Titanic. Oh, we were so close.
Yeah, so close.
We're pros.
What I am about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about this romance. Sources just confirmed that Pamela Anderson's feelings for Liam Neeson didn't start on set like everyone believes. They began the moment she heard his name attached to the Naked Gun. And the strategic way she planned their first meeting? Pure genius. Getting close to him has been on her mind since she was cast. Think about that. This accomplished woman in her late 50s suddenly found herself with butterflies over a man she'd never even met. After 5 marriages and decades in Hollywood, Pamela was experiencing something she thought she'd outgrown. A genuine, heart-fluttering crush. Wait until you discover what she did next. Instead of playing it cool or acting disinterested, Pamela channeled those feelings into the most romantic strategy you'll ever hear. She had months to plan their first interaction, and what she came up with will make you believe in fairy tale endings at any age. Ready for the twist? The sourdough bread wasn't just being nice. It was step 1 of the sweetest seduction ever captured on camera.
Picture this, Pamela Anderson sitting at home, allegedly researching everything she could about Liam Neeson. Not his filmography, his interests, his personality. What makes him laugh? She told Entertainment Weekly they bonded over their love of literature and good laugh. But here's what she didn't say. That conversation topic wasn't accidental. This woman did her homework. She wanted to create meaningful connections with someone she was already crushing on, so she prepared. That's not calculating. That's what any smart woman does when she's genuinely interested in someone worthwhile. And here's the beautiful part. At 58, after everything she'd been through, Pamela still believed in the magic of really getting to know someone. She wasn't just attracted to Liam's fame or status, she wanted to connect with his mind and soul. But the way she planned to win him over, that's where this story gets absolutely adorable.
Are Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson in a fomance, or is this the real deal?
We really fell madly in love on the set.
The co-stars are looking pretty cozy during their press tour for their latest comedy, The Naked Gun. And there are sources confirming they are for sure a couple. And listen, Liam and Pamela, they haven't denied it.
Now, here's where Pamela's crush behavior becomes pure rom-com gold. She discovered her secret weapon: homemade baking. I baked my sourdough bread for therapy and regularly shared with him, along with cookies and muffins, leaving these treats in his dressing room like edible love letters. Picture the scene. Pamela, this glamorous icon, standing in her kitchen before dawn kneading dough while thinking about Liam's reaction. She even developed a very special muffin recipe filled with bran and molasses that became his favorite. That's not just being nice, that's creating signature moments designed to make someone think of you. And get this, she said baking kept me busy, kept me out of trouble. Translation, it kept her hands occupied while her heart was doing somersaults every time she saw him. Wait until you hear about the dinner strategy that was so brilliant, it fooled everyone, including themselves. Here's when Pamela probably realized her crush had become mutual. She revealed that Liam would wrap his coat around me when I was cold, and that simple gesture changed everything. Picture the scene. They're filming, Pamela gets chilly, and without being asked, Liam notices and takes care of her. That's not standard co-star behavior. That's protective, caring, boyfriend energy. For someone who'd experienced relationships where she wasn't treasured, this old-fashioned chivalry must have felt like everything. The fact that she remembered it, mentioned it in interviews, shows how much that moment meant. Sometimes the smallest gestures reveal the biggest feelings, and that coat moment was probably when Pamela's crush evolved into something deeper. But here's where it gets even better. The discovery that made her realize they were genuinely compatible. But here's where it gets even better. The discovery that made her realize they were genuinely compatible.
Now, it shouldn't come as a surprise that sometimes celebrities fake a romance to entice people to come see the film, but something tells me this is not faking it, folks. Here is the evidence. So it all started when production began in 2024, and both actors just could not stop gushing about each other.
What happened next proves that real attraction goes beyond the surface. Liam recently said, "She's a giggler like me, and I love that." And you can imagine how that discovery felt for Pamela. Those moments on set when they'd catch each other's eye and just start laughing, that's when Pamela realized this wasn't just physical attraction. This was genuine compatibility. She described finding his wonderful sense of silliness and humanity. And for someone who'd been through serious relationships and public scrutiny, finding someone who could make her laugh until her stomach hurt must have felt like coming home. The beautiful thing, at 73 and 58, they were still giggling together like teenagers. That's when crush becomes something timeless. And then came the moment when Pamela decided to stop hiding her feelings entirely. By the London premiere, Pamela's emotions were impossible to contain. That kiss on the cheek wasn't just a friendly greeting. That was someone so comfortable with her affection that she expressed it in front of every photographer in London. Think about the internal journey from "I need to stay professional" to "I'm kissing this man's cheek on international television." That's the progression of someone whose feelings had evolved far beyond professional admiration. The photos capture someone completely enchanted. This wasn't a woman posing with a co-star. This was someone looking at the person who'd captured her heart completely. But the Berlin premiere? That's when things got really interesting. The New York premiere was Pamela's boldest move yet. Bringing her sons to meet Liam and his boys wasn't casual. That was someone introducing her children to a person who'd become genuinely important to her. Think about that decision. After years of protecting her sons from her romantic relationships, Pamela chose to include them in this moment. That's not something you do for a work crush.
So last time you spoke to eTalk about this movie, you told us that you fell madly in love on the set of this, and you're so excited. I heard it might have gone a little viral, Pamela.
Really?
But I
Are you sure that was me? I thought you said that.
I did. I said
Yeah,
that.
we
No.
both said that.
Then at the London premiere, the entire world watched Pamela lean into Liam to give him that gentle kiss.
That's what you do when you're hoping someone might become part of your family. The group photos show something beautiful, not just two actors promoting a movie, but two families potentially blending. Pamela's body language, standing close to Liam while their sons surrounded them, was essentially announcing that this man had become special enough to meet the most important people in her life. But the Today Show interview, that's when her feelings became impossible to deny. Watch Pamela's face during that Craig Melvin interview. She's absolutely glowing. When asked if they're dating, her "I don't understand the question" wasn't confusion. It was the response of someone whose feelings were so obvious to her that she couldn't believe anyone needed clarification. That playful kissing bit before cameras rolled, two people who become so comfortable with their attraction that they could tease about it publicly. Pamela's laugh when they got caught was pure joy. When Liam talked about their budding chemistry and wanting to let it breathe, Pamela's nods and smiles showed someone completely on board with whatever was developing between them. But her social media activity during this period, that tells the real story of someone documenting her happiness. Pamela's Instagram became a visual diary of falling in love. The posts about Liam, premiere photos, celebration captions, these weren't just professional obligations. When she posted "Love is in the air," she was acknowledging what everyone could see. Her social media showed someone who wanted to remember every detail of this experience. The candid shots, behind-the-scenes moments, the way she captured Liam's expressions. These were the posts of someone documenting something precious. There's something beautiful about watching someone in their late 50s use Instagram, like a teenager with their first real crush, saving every special moment. And then came the moment when physical affection became completely natural. That SiriusXM interview where they held hands was when Pamela's feelings became completely transparent.
On the cheek. Then everyone started to notice how Pamela and Liam were standing on the red carpet next to each other. The hand hold definitely screams couple vibes to me. And look at the finger hold.
You don't hold hands during a radio interview unless touching that person has become as natural as breathing. Think about what led to that moment. Weeks of growing closer, sharing meals and stories and laughter, until physical affection became inevitable. Pamela wasn't calculating that gesture. It happened because being close to Liam had become her natural state. The beautiful thing was how comfortable they both looked. No awkwardness, no hesitation. Just two people whose emotional connection had naturally evolved into physical closeness. But watch what happens live. That's when her feelings reached their most public expression. When Andy Cohen asked what they found sweetest about each other, Pamela's answer, "He's so kind and generous," came from someone who'd been paying attention to every detail.
That wasn't generic. That was someone who'd fallen in love with specific qualities. And then the lip balm moment. Pamela applying her Sanzi lip balm to Liam's lips on live television. That level of intimate, playful affection doesn't happen between coworkers. That's someone completely comfortable touching and caring for their person. Liam's willingness to lean in, to let her apply the balm while smiling, showed he was equally comfortable with their closeness. You don't develop that level of natural intimacy without genuine feelings. But the validation she received from his family, that changed everything.
Daniel Neeson's public support was probably the most validating moment for Pamela. Those fire and heart emojis on her Instagram posts weren't politeness, they were approval from someone whose opinion matters deeply to Liam. When Andy Cohen asked Daniel if he supported the relationship, and Daniel smiled and nodded, Pamela's face showed pure happiness. She wasn't just falling in love with Liam, she was being welcomed into his family circle. That's probably when any remaining walls around her heart completely crumbled. Family approval is the ultimate green light for someone who's been cautious about love. And then came the blessing that meant everything. Joely Richardson's 7 heart emojis on Pamela's Instagram post represent something profound.
As they're being interviewed by Andy Cohen. What in the holy space is happening there?
Look,
Well, I was happy to see you again after a few months.
absolutely, me too.
Yeah, both have been
we
very
had a
busy.
lovely chemistry.
Then the two appeared on the Today Show and pretended to get caught kissing. And when asked point blank whether they were dating, this is how Pam responded.
The sister of Liam's late wife publicly showing support was like receiving permission to love freely from Natasha herself. For Pamela, who might have worried about comparisons, those hearts said you're not replacing anyone, you're adding something beautiful to a life that deserves happiness. Sometimes the smallest gestures carry the biggest emotional weight. And those hearts were probably when Pamela's feelings shifted from, I hope this works out, to this is really happening. But Andy Cohen's validation, that was the final piece she needed. Andy Cohen's public support was Pamela's final validation. When someone who is close to Liam's late wife says he's very much standing the new relationship, that's celebration, not just approval. Andy's observation that Pamela is just like Tash was, independent, loves to cook, has her own thing going, probably made her heart soar. Instead of being seen as a replacement, she was being recognized as someone who shared the same wonderful qualities. Andy essentially gave them permission to stop being coy and start being happy. His "we're all standing this relationship" was friendship's equivalent of a wedding blessing. And honestly, this is exactly what happens when you approach love with authenticity. What's most beautiful about Pamela's approach is how organic everything became. She started with a simple crush, expressed it through kindness and genuine interest, and watched it grow into something real and substantial. No manipulation, no games, no trying to be someone she wasn't.
I don't understand the question.
And didn't Miss Pamela blush when Liam talked about their budding chemistry on set? Yes, she did. I choose to believe in love. I believe in these two. But more importantly, we want to know what you believe. Let us know in the comments.
She baked bread because she likes to bake. She invited him to dinner because she enjoyed his company. She laughed with him because he made her happy. Every action came from an authentic place. That authenticity is probably what won Liam over. After losing someone as genuine as Natasha, he would have spotted insincerity immediately. Pamela's real feelings, expressed through real actions, created real connection. She proved that at any age, when you approach someone with genuine interest and authentic care, beautiful things happen. What Pamela created with Liam is every romantic comedy dream. The meet cute on set, the slow build of friendship, the realization of deeper feelings, the family approval, the public romance. She wrote her own love story and starred in it. But here's what makes it better than movies. It's real. At 58, after thinking her romantic story might be over, Pamela found herself as the heroine of her own rom-com. The butterflies, the nervous energy, the careful planning, all leading to genuine happiness. She proved that romance doesn't expire, butterflies can flutter at any age, and sometimes the best love stories happen when you least expect them, but most deserve them. The most beautiful part? She didn't change who she was. She just had to be brave enough to show her real feelings to someone worthy of them. Pamela Anderson got her first real crush in decades, handled it with the romantic heart she's always had, and turned it into a love story that has the whole world rooting for her happiness. Watching someone embrace their feelings with such joy reminds us that love is always worth the risk. Butterflies are always worth the flutter. And sometimes, the most beautiful romances begin with the simple courage to bake someone bread and hope they understand what you're really saying. The truth is, this isn't just a celebrity romance. It's proof that the heart stays young forever. And sometimes, the best chapter of your love story is still waiting to be written.